Right. So when you hear the name Bruce Lee, instantly you picture the movies, right? The martial arts prowess, that incredible screen presence.
Absolutely. Pure power and charisma.
Yeah. But there's this whole other layer, isn't there, beyond the Hollywood legend? A really sharp philosophical mind.
Definitely. It's something that often gets kind of glossed over.
He had such a journey, too. Born in San Francisco, November in 1940, I think.
That's right.
Then raised in Hong Kong, and well, became this global phenomenon before his death, way too young, in 73. It wasn't just about fighting.
Not at all. That philosophy, it was the bedrock.
Yeah.
It informed, basically everything he did on screen and off.
Yeah.
And it's why his ideas still resonate, even if you've never, stepped into a dojo.
Uh-huh. Surprisingly practical stuff for everyday life.
Exactly. Real world relevance.
So that's our mission today, right? To kind of look past the nunchucks and the yellow jumpsuit for a minute.
Yeah.
And really dig into Bruce Lee, the philosopher. See how his thinking offers, well, genuine guidance for us. Navigating our own stuff, whatever that might be.
And I think people might be surprised by the depth, the actionable advice you can actually pull from it.
Totally. Let's start with maybe his most famous line. Don't think, feel.
Yes. Iconic.
But also easily misunderstood, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, it sounds a bit, I don't know, flaky. Just go with the vibe, ignore logic.
Right. It sounds like it could be an excuse for, anything. But that's not really it at all. Think about it in his context, martial arts.
Okay.
If you're sparring and you start overanalyzing, okay, is he going to throw a left, a right? Should I block high, low?
Wait.
What happened?
You're hit.
Exactly. That hesitation, that mental noise, it makes you vulnerable. You lose the moment.
And that happens in life, too. Getting stuck overthinking big decisions, career moves, relationships.
Oh, absolutely. Even small stuff like what to binge watch next. That kind of mental gridlock.
Yeah, the endless loop of what ifs. It's interesting. He was drawn to this early on. Studied philosophy, right? University of Washington.
He did, yeah, back in the early 60s. And he was particularly interested in Taoism.
Ah, okay.
Which, really emphasizes flowing with things, finding the natural current, the rhythm of the universe, rather than constantly fighting against it.
So it's not about being passive, like a log floating downstream.
Not at all. It's more about effortless action, acting in harmony with the way things are, without unnecessary force. Lee's don't think, feel really taps into that. It's about accessing a deeper, more intuitive understanding.
Like that gut feeling.
Exactly. That instinct you get when meeting someone, or that little voice telling you to speak up even when logic says maybe keep quiet. It's that sense of just knowing.
Okay, I get that. But there's a danger zone too, right? Like trusting your gut isn't an excuse for making, crazy decisions based purely on whim.
No, absolutely not. And that's a crucial distinction. It's not about ditching reason entirely. You don't bet your life savings on Doge Moon rocket just because you feel it's going to the moon at 2 a.m.
Right. Good example.
Lee wrote about this quite a bit, actually, in the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, which his wife Linda Lee Cadwell did an amazing job compiling after he passed.
Ah, right. Posthumous publication.
Yeah. And his students, people like Dan Iasanto, they always talk about this principle. Trusting instinct, yes, but it comes from deep training, from self-awareness. It's cultivated wisdom, not just random impulse.
So it's about blending instinct with awareness, knowing the difference.
Precisely. It's an informed intuition.
So for you listening, next time you're stuck, caught in that mental spin cycle, try tuning out the noise for a second, the shoulds, the external pressure. Just breathe and ask, okay, what really feels right for me deep down?
And maybe, just maybe, find the courage to act on that feeling.
It's powerful advice. Okay, let's pivot. Another huge one.
Let me guess. Water.
You got it. Be like water. It's everywhere, isn't it? Memes, posters, tattoos.
It really is. It's captured the imagination.
But again, don't think, feel. There's more to it than just a cool phrase.
Much more. Remember that interview he did? The Pierre Breton show in 71?
Oh, yeah, the famous one.
He lays it out so clearly. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water.
You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup.
You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes a teapot.
Yeah, water can flow or it can crash.
Be water, my friend. Just brilliant. It's all about adaptability, rejecting fixed forms.
And you see that directly in how he developed Jeet Kune Do, his martial art, right?
Absolutely. JKD, developed in the late 60s, was basically a reaction against the rigid traditions he saw in, say, traditional karate or kung fu styles.
Too many rules. Too much dogma.
Kind of, yeah. He felt they'd become too stylized, too predictable, maybe losing touch with raw effectiveness. JKD was about radical practicality.
Use what works, ditch what doesn't.
Exactly. Whatever is effective in that specific moment, against that specific opponent. No loyalty to a particular technique just because it's traditional. Be fluid. Adapt.
So how does that be like water idea translate off the mat into, regular life?
Well, think about setbacks. You lose a job, maybe.
Okay.
The rigid approach is to resist, get angry, feel stuck. The water approach, okay, this happened. How can I flow around this obstacle? Learn new skills. Network differently. Pivot my career.
Adapt.
Adapt, or in relationships. Being, like water means being willing to communicate, to change your perspective, maybe compromise.
Or even knowing when to flow out of a situation that isn't working.
That too. It requires flexibility and honesty. It's about resilience.
Right. Because it's easy to misinterpret it as being passive, isn't it? Just drifting along aimlessly like that plastic bag in the wind from American Beauty.
Huh. Yeah, that's definitely not it. Water isn't weak. Think about it.
No, it's incredibly powerful.
It carves canyons over millennia. It can sink ships in a storm. It finds its way through the smallest cracks.
So it's not about being weak or aimless. It's about being adaptable and powerful, yielding, but also incredibly strong when focused.
Exactly. It's dynamic power. And Li was drawing from deep wells here. The Tao Te Ching, obviously.
You mentioned Taoism earlier.
Right. But also thinkers like Alan Watts. Apparently, Watts' books were in his personal library. The Bruce Lee Foundation has documented a lot of that.
Interesting. So he was really synthesizing these ideas.
Very much so. And again, you hear it consistently from students like Ted Wong. And back to that Burton interview, it was a core principle, lived and breathed.
It makes me think about recent history, the pandemic in 2020.
Oh, a perfect example. Huge global disruption.
And who thrived, or at least who managed.
Those who adapted. The businesses that pivoted, restaurants going all in on delivery.
Employees learning remote work tech overnight. People making artisanal face masks.
Exactly. They flowed. They found new forms, new ways to operate within the new reality. Those who were too rigid, who insisted things had to stay the same, they struggled immensely.
It's a really powerful, practical lesson in adaptability.
Sure.
Be like water.
It truly is.
So the final thought for you listening, maybe take a moment. Where in your life are you being a bit rigid, like concrete instead of water?
Good question.
Where are you holding on to fixed ideas, fixed plans, maybe even fixed grievances, when a little more flexibility, a little more flow could actually serve you better?
Where could you use that water-like quality to navigate around an obstacle or even gently wear it down over time?
Something to think about. How can you flow more effectively?